Okay, so it is day two of the course, and I'm going to give you guys a little overview of what you should be doing now in the class. By now, you should have read the welcome to the course and your instructor. You don't need to read the other material that's here. The online learning essentials in Canvas is for those people who've never had an online class, which isn't very many people nowadays, but it's there if you need it. First steps helping you succeed. There really isn't anything in there that you need except for the tutoring information, which if you do need tutoring, if you want to practice your Spanish speaking, we have free tutoring and information is located in there under on-campus tutoring. You can find the World Languages website there and contact them and make an appointment. Hey, you should have also read the syllabus for the class to be aware of the breakdown of grades and how things are done in the course. The first thing you should have done or that you need to do is the introductory module to be completed before you do module 16. So you're going to do an introduction, how to learn second language, take a quiz on that, read about what the course is all about and how much time it will take a quick quiz on that, and that will open up module 16. You also have information on the final cultural project, what you can do to improve your Spanish outside of class. I have a ton of resources for you to do that because taking an online class will not be enough for you to practice your speaking. How to create special characters, that's your accent marks. There are many, many ways to do it. The easiest is if you have a Mac, and if you have a PC, well, you can do it. It's just a little bit different. So we've got information on that there. Grading breakdown and rubrics for the course are here. General course calendar here tells you what you're doing in general and when that stuff is due. It is not a specific list of all of your assignments. It's just a very general calendar with the due dates. So once you start with module 16, essentially you're going to be working top to bottom, starting with reading the learning objectives, doing your vocabulary and its activities, pronunciation, a variety of grammatical concepts. I'll skip through those, a reading, culture, and then we end with assessments. So to get started in module 16, you click on your learning objectives, read them, go to the next page. That's your vocabulary. Got some vocabulary practice for pronunciation purpose. Then you've got a printable vocabulary list, flashcards, and these are for Quizlet. You can get an app and use the same Quizlet as well. And then practice exercises that you're going to do at your leisure on your own time. Okay, that's essentially how you progress in the course. Now, I don't recommend that you sit down and try to do everything in module 16 all at once. You have 10 days per module to finish your work. What I recommend is you do a little bit every day. Start with vocabulary. Once you're finished with that, take a day off and go to pronunciation the next day. And then the next day, do a grammatical concept and so on and so on. Break it up throughout the 10 days. Because if you try to do it in the last day or two, you are going to be working for many, 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 many hours, and you're not going to learn the material very well. Because if you try to learn it all at once, it just doesn't stick in your brain. The human brain can't take that much information and truly learn it. Okay, so that's my recommendation. Typically, when a student tries to do all the work in the last day or two, it's not very well done. It's not learned very well. And then that affects the assessments. It affects your listening. It affects your reading comprehension. Pronunciation, it depends on, the person, but it can affect your pronunciation. But what it affects the most is your speaking and writing assessments. Those are production assessments. You're actually going to produce language with them. And a typical student who tries to do everything at the last minute and then does the speaking and writing assessments is going to think, well, Mr. Shank isn't going to notice that I used Google Translate to translate everything for me, and I'm just going to record myself reading something that was translated from Google Translate, or I'm going to write it in English and put it in Spanish to Google Translate. He's not going to notice. Well, I hate to tell you, but it only takes me about 5 seconds of listening and the first couple of lines to know if something was Google translated, because even though you guys are awesome Spanish 202 students with supreme skill, you still have a lot to learn. And when I read something that is perfect, that contains grammar that you've never had, that you've never mastered, and vocabulary that you've never learned. I kind of know. So don't use the Google Translator to turn in work because I'll be able to tell very quickly. And I'm going to give it a 0. And I hate doing that. It hurts my heart tremendously to do that. But I always have at least 2 or 3 students that try to do that in the very first exam. And then I give them 0s and they're like, oh, he was right. So do your own work. You'll be surprised how well you do, even if it's not perfect. All right, so that's basically it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I am very responsive to emails. You can either do it through Canvas, which goes to my regular email, or you can send me a regular email. I wish you the best in the course.